Howdy y'all, Andy here, and welcome to another episode of King's Comics. In honor of today's Super Bowl, we're going to go ahead and do a comic review on Eyeshield 21, which is a Japanese manga about American football. That being said, let's tear right in. Eyeshield 21 tells the story of Sena Kobayakawa. I really hope I pronounced all these names correctly today. A young high school student who is honestly pretty unassertive and pretty just, I'm going to be honest, he's a bit of a pansy. However, he's noticed by the captain of the American football team at his school and is realized to be just very fast and agile. So they want to go ahead and make him a running back. However, just so he doesn't get drafted or picked up by any other schools, they give him a visor with the number 21 and giving him the name Eyeshield 21. So it's kind of cool because he's like an anonymous football player, which kind of goes into why this comic's awesome. Of course, it's based on American football, which I understand not a lot of people are gonna like or doesn't make sense to a lot of people because of all the rules. But the comic was actually so popular that it helped increase the popularity of American football in Japan. This was because, for those who are aware of shonen, manga, or anime, it took things way over the top. Not only were you having people just running fast, hitting, tackling, all of these things, but you had them pretty much, for the most part, having superpowers. And, I mean, once again, it's about football, but seeing that combined with a lot of borderline Dragon Ball Z-esque action really made for a fun, interesting take on, well, what was ultimately a sports comic and a coming-of-age tale. These were some of the things I really liked about the comic. The fact that not only was the story, I mean, it was a pretty basic story. You know, you have a kid coming into his own, but also having to learn to stand up for himself as he goes through the school year and the course of the graphic novel. Now, what I don't like about it also kind of counterbalances with that. The fact that it's a shonen manga means that it's going to have a pretty basic storyline and that a lot of the story is just going to act a little bit as a vehicle for the action sequences and all that. Don't get me wrong, because it's a bit of a coming-of-age tale, there was a lot of good character development in terms of his interactions, him accepting his roles in leadership or just on the team as a member, but it also means that it's just not going to have the same level of depth as, well, actually, I mean, to be fair, it is pretty much just a sports story, so that's going to be assumed for the most part. That's not to knock it or to say it can't go above and beyond, and didn't. It was a very popular manga in Japan while it was selling, and even when it came over to the States after it was translated. But let's kind of go back because there's more good here than all the bad. The creative team is comprised of two pretty big names in anime and manga right now. Yusuke Murata as the artist, who, if that name sounds a little familiar, it's the artist for One Punch Man, which explains why all the action sequences are really beautiful, as well as a lot of the facial expressions on characters. And then the writer is Riichiro Inagaki. And if you've heard that name, well, he's the original writer of Dr. Stone. Once again, this is coming from the background of an American sport being introduced to a Japanese and global audience, so I think they also do a great job of helping introduce readers to why it's so interesting, and not just giving readers an interest in the characters, but also in the mechanisms of the sport, and honestly why it's so dope. That being said, y'all, that's all I really got to say about the comic. Dope comic, beautiful art. I do like the writing, even though it sounds like I kind of took some digs at the plot a little bit. So thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of King's Comics. If you liked today's video, please hit the like button. And if you really liked today's video, please hit the subscribe button. And if you have any thoughts, comments, feedbacks, or suggestions, please drop a line down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say or to continue discussion. And that being said, once again, thank you all so much for tuning in, and I'll be talking to y'all again real soon. Okay, Riichiro Inagaki. Okay? And Yusuke Murata. Sena Kobayakawa. Sena Kobayakawa. Sena Kobayakawa.